G's, 4G's, yeah. 4G's, 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 let's go. 4G's, 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 look. Full syndication, full elevation, all generations, we already made it. 4G's, 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 yeah. 4G's, 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 let's go. 4G's, 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 look. Full syndication, full elevation, all generations, we already made it. We got Shot, Dot, Malcolm, Chris the King, plus the Doc. You know that's like 4G's. Sports Mind. Real world, real problems, real news, real sports. We gon' let you know right here on 4G's. 4G's.
Welcome to another episode of 4G Sports. As always, you already know this episode is brought to you by Daphne Cozy and My Cozy Creations. And before I forget, I want to thank all the listeners and all the subscribers, but you know what you need to do. As Doc always says, hit that bell so you'll know when we come on, when we premiere, and whenever we start dropping new little stuff, all right? So let's get the show started. I'm your boy. I'm the OG.
I am the king.
Hey, you know what it is. We back, and you got the Doc.
And I hope you guys remember the gentleman above me. He was in episode 13 with the Z7 neck brace, all right? He's back to talk about, as you can see, his book. We got a lot of other things we're going to talk about, but I'm going to let him introduce himself one more time. Dr. Pitts, can you please introduce yourself to the people one more time, please?
Absolutely. So, hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Casuel Pitts. Definitely want to give a shout out right back to 4G Sports. Thank you guys tremendously for everything that you guys do and are doing for the sports community. So, I appreciate you guys tremendously.
Oh, man, we appreciate that. We appreciate that. Let's get started with a little short, some sports stuff before we get into Dr. Pitts real quick. The first question, I believe, let's talk about the big trade before we talk about anything else. The trade between the Lions and Rams for Stafford and Goff. The Lions get 2 first-round picks and a 3rd-round pick. What are your thoughts? Any order. Let's start with the Doc.
I think the Lions made out on that one because they get presumably what could be described as a franchise guy. I mean, that he was a number 1 overall pick quarterback at one point. He has been to a Super Bowl. One could argue why he made it to that Super Bowl. Was it McVay? But it doesn't really matter. He was the starting quarterback of a Super Bowl team. And then Detroit not only got that kind of quarterback, they get 2 firsts and a 3rd. Come on, man. They set themselves up. Now, the funny side is, or the flip side to that is, I think Stafford actually is going to do well there in LA, so I think maybe it's a win for each of them.
There you go. All right, King, you had your hand up.
Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? How old is Matthew Stafford? 72? How old is he?
He's like 34, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 32.
So,
yeah, he's been in the league for 11 years.
I think ever since Jared Goff signed that big money contract, he's been mediocre at best. My opinion.
Correct.
Who got the better end of the deal? Probably Detroit. I would say Detroit. I mean, but who wants to go to Detroit? When was their last playoff appearance? Were we born? Was Barry Sanders still in the league?
Yeah.
I think Barry Sanders was the quarterback.
That's a good question.
That's a good question. When was their last winning season? So my question is, right. So are you sending Goff there to just disintegrate and disappear from the league? Because he's not going to do anything out there. No, period. Will Stafford do something in LA in that division? Has he had a healthy season in the past few years? Has he played a full season? I don't think he's played a full season in a minute.
I think last season he did.
That's one out of how many? 11?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Right. And that's a tough division. I mean, you got what? Cardinals, Seattle. I mean, that's tough, bro. I mean, I'll stand by what I said. Who cares? I mean, you traded trash for garbage, pretty much.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, King.
Tell
King.
us how you really feel.
You still mad. You still mad. We understand. It's fresh. We understand. Nah, I'm gonna say the Rams came out a little bit better than Detroit, and this is why. The Rams have better weapons. They have a better defense and a better offensive line. Their quarterback was holding them back. When you can put in your backup in a playoff game, and he has done better than your starter the last maybe 5 games of the season, the writing was on the wall right then and there.
Yeah.
Detroit has nothing. The picks will help, but like King said, who wants to go to Detroit? There's no receivers in Detroit. There's no running back in Detroit. The offensive line is trash in Detroit. So I think Detroit did the right thing getting Stafford out, trying to start over, but they have a long way to go. And the picks help, but I think the Rams will do a whole lot more with Stafford in a short period of time than the Rams would do with Goff over a long period of time. You know what I mean? So we just have to wait and see how it goes. Dr. Pitts.
Woo! Talk about technology. I'm talking about my whole screen just went black. I had to hop on my laptop. My computer screen was just, it's gone. I don't even know what happened. I'm trying to cut it back on. I'm like, it just went blank. I'm
man.
Yeah. This is why you gotta have multiple devices in your home.
Yeah.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
You got to have multiple devices in your home.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's get your opinion on that trade. The Lions traded Stafford for Goff, and the Lions get 2 first rounds and a 3rd round pick. What's your thoughts on that?
Look, is this the same comparison as Tom Brady and the Patriots? I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
Did he take it there?
Look, listen. This is all I gotta say is, I think that they had it was a talk about how football is now becoming equivalent to WrestleMania. I don't. Hey, it's one of those things when you start to listen to the I think it was with Shannon Sharp on their show. They were talking about that portion about how now football is turning into the WrestleMania, where it's now just more so driven to it's a show. It's more more of a show, and that was kind of disheartening for me because in my mind, I'm like, hey, if there was a sport that I really would love sticking to, it definitely would be that football. Just keeping it original, giving it, just having the best of the best players. At one point it was basketball, then they started creating the super teams, and then then they started doing that. Then now football is doing this. So for me, man, when it comes to these trades, like how the Lions did, I'm like, man, like what's going on with football? So I'm gonna digress, and I'm gonna go because I heard Doc talking about it. I'm gonna have to go 100% with what Doc was talking about.
Okay.
So, where do you think, in the realm of all of these trades, what do you think that does to the Deshaun Watson scenario? Yeah.
Man, look, you know what? Does it even work? Does it even work in his favor? Does it help out the situation at all?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to even compare Deshaun's, with what's my wide receiver's name? Goodness gracious. I don't want to say he was blackballed, but I think, I think he kind of brought it on himself. What's his name?
Oh, Antonio Brown?
Was it Antonio Brown?
Maybe. And he finally landed in Tampa.
Yeah. Finally, they finally got him. And you know what? I think that had a lot to do with Brady.
Oh, 100%. I agree 100% with that.
I think that had a lot to do with Brady. So, man, I don't know, man. I don't know how this, it is going to affect, the situation. But only thing I can say is that I just hope that football shapes up and shapes out fast.
Yeah.
Fast. Please. Fast.
Well,
I hope that they're paying attention to what's taking place. Even like how when the CEOs, what they got rid of the one guy because of what he said on his Twitter.
I know what you're talking about.
They let him go. They let him go because of what he said on his Twitter. And it's like, but wait a minute though, we can do all this other stuff that all the fines that go on and all this other stuff that goes on. Then you get the owner of football to come out and talk about how, well, yes, I will take responsibility that some of the games were rigged and blah, 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 this and blah. As if though you knew this from the beginning. Like, is the apology really an apology? You knew it. You knew when the phone call came through and this is what you guys wanted to do. You had to say yes on the end.
Mm-hmm.
So you taking saying I'm taking full responsibility. You ain't got whether you take it or not. It was already your full responsibility.
But it's almost like, yeah, no kidding, you are. You know what I mean? And I think just speaking when we go to the Deshaun Watson scenario as it relates to this trade and kind of speaking to your background, Dr. Pitts, in business is it's almost like a stock now, right? It inflated the price on Watson because if you get 2 firsts and a third for Stafford plus Goff, you've inflated Watson's price, right? So does that actually hurt his position, as you stated, or not? Because, I mean, what are they going to then demand for somebody to the caliber of Deshaun Watson? At least 4 firsts, at least.
Right.
And one of those better be a top 2 in this draft because now they're going to have to replace a quarterback.
Right.
So I think it probably hurts in the short term, but I think they have to get a deal done. So eventually it'll come around because he scrubbed his entire social media of the Texans. I mean, it says just athlete now. So I think that's probably an unrepairable situation that has to have some end in sight. Me personally, the only 2 teams that really come to mind that have anything to offer is the Jets and the Jaguars, just based off of the assets they have and their draft positions.
Yeah. If I could just add on to what you're saying, Doc, in regards to from the business perspective of it, I think the NFL has taken on the perspective of now these players that are especially coming from college that have done, that put up the great numbers, that are dynamic in college and are just powerhouses. I think what's happening with the NFL, they're saying, this is a different beast, though. When you cross over to the NFL, it's different. They hit different. They like all that stuff that was going on. It's fun in games and it's really good in college. But when you come over here, it's a whole lot different. And I think that a lot of the times the NFL has made some choices where they've paid a high-end player all of this money and they get over here and it's like they really can't showcase like they should, or so what happens is they say, okay, from a business perspective, how do we kind of dummy that down a little bit to where now you bring the player in and then show me what you're worth. You want the big paycheck? Show me that you're worth the paycheck and I'll give it to you. And then you get people, like Holmes from Kansas City. Because think about it, right? Let's go back. Let's scratch that. Let's go back to my boy who was with the Panthers. Quarterback
Cam Newton.
Yep. Right? First year, come in, go straight to the Super Bowl. We was like, okay, Cam about to
Next year, we know for a fact Cam about to come in and it's over with.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Come on, Cam. What happened? Second year. And the same thing with my boy in at the Ravens. Great quarterback, right? Great quarterback. You would have thought that him coming in, like, oh, okay. Went to took the Ravens to the playoffs. Oh, okay, yeah. I already know next year he gonna be a person to just be a force to be reckoned with. And we got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the finals. Oh.
Yep.
Oh no.
Yes.
Hey, to me, it's starting to become business. It looks like that's business.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I understand what you're saying, and yeah, it is business, but if you're a business, you should pick the right employees for your job. So I don't care. Just like if I had the number 1 pick and you got Lawrence and all these quarterbacks, if I don't need a quarterback, why am I drafting a quarterback? Just because that's the glamour position? No, I'm drafting what I need. So I need an offensive lineman, a defensive lineman, or even a safety with the number 1 pick. That's what I'm going to take. You know, and teams gotta understand, just because they were great in college, like Dr. Pitt said, and I've heard it before, college is, you're trying to prove something. Pros, you got to pay mortgage. You got a mortgage you got to pay.
Yeah.
You got family to take care of. So you got, and every year you got new people coming in trying to take your job. College, and Doc and King can attest to this. College, once you're there and you quote unquote a star, if you get there as a freshman, you're going to start all the way into your senior year. Mm-hmm. Pros, you can be number 1 pick. If you don't produce, what they going to do? Sit you? No, we got to play you because we didn't pay you all this money.
Yeah.
You know,
and we've seen that time and time again also.
Right. And you keep calling them bust. No, they went to the wrong team.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, certain quarterbacks cannot go to certain teams. Like, I'm sorry to say, just like he said, Jackson should never went to Baltimore because all they're going to do is running. They have no receivers, so he's not going to ever develop as a quarterback. My team, Dallas, we went with linemen, and all of a sudden we fell apart because the linemen got old. The linemen started getting hurt. We never replenished the line, and we never got a tight end. I think the most complete team out of all the teams I can think of that's not in the Super Bowl will be the Browns.
Say it again.
They got 2 great running backs.
Say that again.
Shut up. They got 2 great running backs. They got some receivers. They got a tight end. The quarterback is trying to show his thing, but they understand what pieces they need. You know, the same thing for the Cardinals. So I just think if teams would get people in there and let people make the decisions on what type of team you're going to have, pick that personnel and stick to that game plan, you won't have these problems.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I've always thought that about one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time, and Michael Vick. If maybe he wasn't in Atlanta, if he went somewhere like with Belichick, for instance, not that could have happened because I know they had Brady at the time, but I'm saying a situation like that, where would we be looking at Vic in terms of all-time greats? Right. And because I think, I mean, he, like I said, he's one of my favorite all-time. I think he could have been up there had it not been for the unfortunate personal issues he went through.
Right.
And I hate to say it, I live in Atlanta. Atlanta's not this, and that's why I have a lot of debates with people. Atlanta's not a city to bring people coming straight out of college with a lot of money. This is not the city. Too many strip clubs, too many distractions. It's not the city. This is not the city. So I don't know. All right, what
you got, King?
Question? Oh, I have a question. Do y'all think that big 3 in Brooklyn gonna work out?
No.
I'm gonna go with something you said earlier, King. Who cares?
Hey!
Uh-oh.
Please.
Dr. Pitts is ready for this one, boy.
Please. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let me expound upon this question. As we clearly saw last year, the Lakers taking the ring oh so effortlessly. It now seems as if though Brooklyn is trying to pull a Golden State when we can kind of go back and calibrate of how LeBron came back from a 3-1 deficit with Cleveland and took the ring completely from Golden State. Now that Brooklyn has the big three, they're still going to go down. They're not going to. Will they do something? Absolutely, because I mean, you got some dynamic players on the team. Right. But just like when the Lakers started out, when they had, they kind of had that team. They had. It's all about meshing. Yeah. When LeBron went to Miami, he had to mesh with them before they actually got that ring. And it's one of those things. I mean, let's look at our boy who went to Philadelphia. What was his name? Leonard went to Philly.
Butler, Jimmy Butler.
Okay, Butler. Yeah, Butler.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's like, so I'm just saying, like, great addition for Harden to go there. And again, now we go back to what OG was saying. Harden should have never went to Houston. He just should have never went to Houston. I think Harden would have had a better opportunity. Oh, absolutely, OG. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's always a conversation. It's always, but you know what happens? It go from this to this. Now I need the ring. Yeah. It's like, because because this gonna take care of the family, but then this gonna give you the legacy.
Exactly.
This gonna give you that legacy. So it's like, if you can get it out of your head, the first check that they cut gonna take care of your family. In my mind, go ahead, OG. Go ahead, interrupt me. Go ahead.
If they take care of their money, I agree. That's if they're taking care of their money.
Oh yeah, when you get deeper into it, OG, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. If they take care of their money, we can have a whole conversation about the stupidity. We can have
that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, that's a whole
other show.
And we don't need longer than whatever the time is allowed it for. That's going to be a part 2, a part 3, and a part 4.
Yeah.
Okay. But
you know what? Since you brought that up, I'm going to interrupt you one more time. Since you brought that up, we might need to get with you on that and do a show, do some segments on that.
Yes, sir.
You just came up with it. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's set that up. Please, let's set that up. But just to answer King's question, I do believe that, of course, adding in a good addition. But, man, I just wish the NBA would just spread out and let it be a war where we talking about the playoffs become fun again. That's what I want, man. Like, granted, I get it in Michael Jordan's era, but when you think about that era, you had Patrick. At least it was exciting to watch that era play. You had the Sacramento Kings who had John Stockton, the mailman. Then you had the Knicks who had, Patrick Ewing. They like the San Antonio Spurs who had David Robinson. Like, you could literally go to the team and start naming the people. And when playoffs came, you'd be like, the games were just good, man. They were just good.
They weren't predictable.
Yeah, exactly. Now you get in, you be like, this and this, and then now you get these super teams, and it just becomes, to me, it becomes boring. So I don't believe that right now Brooklyn is going to do anything. They're going to win games, but I don't see a ring. Not this year. I don't see them competing for a ring this year. Maybe next year. Maybe if they can really, form that group together. And then you got to also think, man. You every year you get a year older, and Harden went through those weight challenges and losing. So I mean, you get older, you don't get younger, so that shot changes a little bit every year. It changes a little bit, especially.
Let me ask something real quick though about, because you mentioned something about how spreading it out, right? And because this does relate a little bit to Brooklyn, because we know that Kyrie feels like he's the most enlightened person in the league, and he's off on some of this extra stuff. Recently, he said we should be doing away with the draft altogether and just letting the best players pick where they go. And Yeah. So my argument to that has always been he clearly doesn't understand the purpose of a draft, because a draft is meant to spread the wealth, like you just say. So you don't have these powerhouse teams, and then otherwise what happens is the small market teams will always be crapped on, always, because nobody's going to go there. It's always going to be the New Yorks, Brooklyn's, LA's, maybe the Miami's.
Big markets.
Big markets taking the big players.
Oh yeah.
And so what do you guys think of that?
Kyrie's tripping for one. It's business first. We all know that. You can't have a stupid super team like that. That would make the league. It's already boring as it is already. Because like Dr. Pitts said, that back in our era, you can watch 12 teams go at it, and you can name off players. You can go watch NBA right now, and there's people on these teams you don't even know who the hell they are.
No.
Like who is that guy?
You're not gonna get a situation like when Denver was an 8 seed and they took out the number 1 seed Seattle.
Right.
You're not gonna get that anymore.
It's not fun to watch, you know.
Right.
Because like I said, when it becomes predictable, it's not enjoyable. For me, it's not. You know, like I remember seeing LA and Sacramento go at it. We knew they were going to go at it, but they had to pave their way to get there to go at it. You know, in the East, Reggie Miller, the Knicks, all those teams, the Bullies, you know, Philly. I mean, it was enjoyable. I'm not really an East person, but to watch the physicality of how they played back then was like, okay, who's going to come up the East and who's going to play LA, and it's going to be an all-out war.
Yeah.
Period. The Spurs,
Pistons,
Celtics, Bad Boys, all that. It's like I said, I've watched a few games this year, and there's some players, and I'm a college basketball fanatic. There's some players I ain't never even heard of in the league right now. Like, where did he come from?
Yeah.
Who is that?
Yeah. Next.
I mean,
do you guys remember watching the dunk contest, and you'd be like, okay, Dominique Wilkins and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You see the dunk contest the past few years, like who the hell are these dudes, bro?
Yeah.
I haven't watched the dunk contest in probably 3 years.
Same.
It's pretty
Same here.
Yeah. I haven't watched the All-Star Weekend in 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you remember the hype that used to lead up to that? Like King said, like, oh man, Dominique and MJ back at it, and then you got Spud Webb coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The last real one was that I liked, besides the two guys, Zach LaVine and who was the other guy?
Gordon, Aaron Gordon.
That was the best one. But before that, it was Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know, as of late, man, it's hard to watch, man. It's just boring to watch because you know what's gonna happen. They want Brooklyn to go to championship. They want them. They're trying to buy a team. I don't think they're gonna make it because there's not enough basketballs in Brooklyn. And I'm not sure what angel dust what's his name, Kyrie Irving is on, because he needs something's wrong upstairs. Seriously. He needs some psychological help immediately. Period.
I mean, the reason I say no is they're not even getting out the East. I don't see Brooklyn getting out the East. Honestly. Like everyone is about to say there's not enough basketballs for Brooklyn. You got two ball-dominant guards. I think by the time the playoffs roll around, Durant will be frustrated.
Yeah.
And you will see it on his face. Because once teams figure out, I'll let you shoot threes all day because you're not going to make them all day. So you can dribble, play around all you want, shoot with 5 seconds on the clock.
Yeah.
I'll live with the results, but we'll beat you because you don't play defense. So,
well, they're not going to get out. They're not going to get out of their own way, OG. And what I mean by that is, for everything I disliked about LeBron going to Miami way back when he did that, Wade and Vash put their egos aside and said, "LeBron, this is your team. Take us." You think Kyrie and Harden are going to put their egos aside to say, "KD, you're the guy"? No, exactly. Exactly. It's not going to happen.
No, sir.
It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
And that is what will burn them.
Yeah. Hey. And because Anthony Davis and the Lakers, they adopted the fact, hey, LeBron, get the ring. Just can you just get us a ring? We good. Like just get us a ring. And for me, you know, if honestly, just being transparent, if I was Harden, and if I had to put my money in the pot to say, where can I go that I can almost have an 80% chance of getting a ring, it would be the Lakers.
Yeah.
Ship me there. Ship me there because I got an 80% opportunity to get a ring with LA. Period. Yep. If I had that opportunity, ship me there.
They have the pieces. They could have done it. They could have shipped Kuzma out and took Harden. And I guarantee you, LeBron was like, nah, no, we're good.
We don't need that. Before we get to Dr. Pitts, I'm just ask one thing. It's a simple yes or no. Should the Lakers do anything they can to get Bradley Beal?
Yes.
Man, no.
I knew you was gonna say no.
Hold on. Let me re-answer that. Please no.
Okay, King. I'm gonna give you 50%, and Doc, I'm gonna give you 50%. Or let's just say I'll give King 40%. I'm gonna give Doc 60%. Because is there anybody else that we can add on? Like, you know what? Can we get Zach? I want Zach LaVine.
I think he'd fit better, actually.
I think King. Just hear me out, King. You see what I'm saying? Can you give me? Let's do Zach. I would do anything that we can. Let me get Zach.
I like Zach.
Yeah,
I like Zach. Okay.
He wouldn't cost as much either. He would not cost as much.
No,
Zach over Kuzma. Yeah.
He's actually he's in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Get him out of there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're fired. You're fired. Let's come on over.
Come on out.
I hope the LeBron administration, the Lakers administration, hears this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to push this to the people that I know in LA so they can hear the cry of Dr. Pitts when I say, do everything you can to get Zach. And I guarantee you, not only are we going to go back, but we're going to be solid.
Oh, yeah.
Solid.
That team would be a problem.
I do have one more question, though, Dr. Pitts. One more question. Is Russell Westbrook now a journeyman of the NBA?
Yes. King, that is a great question, sir. That's it. Me and my son had this argument when he was talking about, I done already forgot his name. Russell Westbrook. It's
Westbrook.
Yeah. Now, King, watch this. No, King, you know what? Watch this. Here we go. Now, OG and Doc, y'all may not agree with what I'm about to say, but we talked about how players shouldn't go to certain teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to think about this for a second. We all know Dwight Howard has been through multiple teams.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But when he got with LA, I said, is this the old Dwight Howard? I miss this dude. Dude, that's all we need you to do. Can we get 10 boards and 8 points? That's all I need you to do.
That's all you need to do.
If you can just give me that, we're going to be good. Yeah. Dwight Howard showed up and showed out for LA during the playoffs. So what am I saying? I said that to say that I believe that if Russell Westbrook goes to LA, he'll be a different player. We would see Russell in midway back again. We'll see him scoring. And the reason being is because when you have somebody like LeBron and Anthony Davis that can create space, I can go to work. Russell Westbrook he can drive to the hole all day long. Anthony is a problem. Anthony Davis is a problem. When he positions himself, if it's coming off the boards, he's going to grab it and he's going to put it back. Then you got LeBron, who can drive to the hole, the space. So when people are caving in, Russell would even be more willing to pass the ball more to the people because he know, like, okay, boom, I'm creating people to come in. And then if you don't, I'm going to take it.
Right.
But right now, to answer your question directly, I think Russell he's at that place, man, where it may be time for him. It may be time for him. He's going to have to go somewhere where he can really bring out who he really, his player mentality again.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think he's done. Oh. Is that telling us it's time to go ahead and start the real show with Dr. Pitts? Okay.
I gotta say this. That alarm goes off at 3:33. See, it's past 3:33 because I had muted it, but I tell my wife I love her every day at 3:33. So if the wife is watching,
look at this, man. I tell you what. You even
now,
get
Dr.
Cupid.
Pitts,
Hey,
you
that's
for
some
coming on the
Cupid
show.
stuff.
It was great talking to you. You just got us all in trouble. I see you
Now
got a book. We'll talk about that next time.
I got to set an alarm now.
All right. See, now I'm gonna have to pick a time because now Sports Mom gonna look at me and say, "Well, you don't tell me you love me at a Pacific time."
Oh,
thanks, Dr. Pitts. Thank you, Dr. Pitts.
Listen, but look. Then this is how you respond to that, right? We'll say, hey, listen, you learn something new every day. So guess what? Now I'm going to go ahead and put it into, and then guess what? Now it increases. I just gave you another way to keep the fire lit in the relationship. There it is. There you go.
I'm not mad at you the way you put
like
that,
it.
sir.
I like
that. All right. It is time for the off-topic question.
Woo. All right.
We switched it up, Dr. Pitts. So
Okay.
you have to pay attention to this one.
All right.
Go ahead, King. Give it to him.
All right. So the last time you were on the show, we asked you the LeBron Kobe question. I don't remember what you said. I want to say you said Kobe.
He said LeBron.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, he said Kobe.
No,
He
he
said
said
Kobe?
LeBron.
Okay.
He said LeBron because of his off the court work.
That's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
That's
Come on
right.
now.
So the new question is, which Kobe was better, number 8 or number 24? And why?
And we'll give you the Jeopardy theme song. Do, 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 do.
Okay, let me get out. 8 is when he retired, right? 8 is when he retired, right?
24 is when he retired. 8 was
24.
early Kobe.
Okay, I'm froze. Okay, it refreshed. I'm good. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so 24 was to retire, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, okay. So I'm definitely gonna have to go with I'm gonna say that when it comes to the I want to rip your head off tenacity, 8. I'm gonna go with 8. I'm gonna rip your head off tenacity, like is you think you somebody? I got you. Don't even worry about it. Let me get the rock. Yeah, 8 he was vicious. 8 he was vicious. He was vicious when he was 8. 24 he was more mature. It was like, boy, please. Like I done already been here before. Here we go. But 8, he was vicious when he was 8. Like he was hungry. When he was 8, he was hungry.
Yeah.
24, it was he kind of mellowed out. He got more mature. He was still an amazing player. 24 though, he was just a little bit more laid back. Number 8 though, he was gonna give you something. He was a problem when he was 8.
All right. Yeah. Don't forget, 24 was on the bench and did this to a fan.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You did that? I said, okay.
I have one more off-topic question. This is off the top. So if Tom Brady wins this Super Bowl, will he be solidified as the GOAT?
My God. King. Why did we do this? Let me just go ahead and just be transparent right here, right now. I just wish they would have recognized Peyton Manning a little bit more than what they did as far as for the leverage is concerned on what Tom Brady had. I'm not going to apologize when I say this. He was birthed a great team. Peyton Manning had to build a great team. He turned a lot of people who were not name brand players. Peyton Manning turned a lot of people that were not name brand players, turned them into name brand players.
Yep.
And And I believe that, Brady was given a great gift. And I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. I'm not saying that. He is a great quarterback. Okay, I'm gonna say that. Let me say that for the record. Tom Brady is a great quarterback. But sir, if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wins the championship, I'm boycotting football.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but it's just no way possible that you're telling me. And when it comes to the GOAT, I want to get directly to your question, King. I think the Hall of Fame status by far.
Right.
But I'm not taking the GOAT away from Peyton Manning. I'm just not. I'm not. And that's on and off field for Peyton. I followed Peyton from college when he came in. The tenacity, I'm talking about what he did with the Colts, then went over to the Broncos. It's one of those things where, he created that space, and he was the one. It took a while for people to understand what Omaha meant. And I know this personally from Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
I know this personally. It took a while for what Omaha really meant. The only quarterback that would get to the line and yell Omaha and be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What's going on? And as soon as he saw one person move off that defense, and he was the only other quarterback that had the best rush offense. He's the only one. Nobody perfected it. Like, even though he made his made some bad choices, but he was the only one who perfected the rush offense. Let's go. The rush, he was the only one that perfected it the way he did. So for me, King, when it comes to the GOAT, I'm not taking it away from Peyton. Does Tom Brady belong in the Hall of Fame? 100%, absolutely. But to give him the GOAT trophy, then coming from Dr. Pitts.
Nice.
That's a good answer. And King, hold up, King, before you get into before OG goes, it's interesting, bringing up Peyton Manning, because recently, I don't know if you remember the middle linebacker, Sean Merriman. He was with the Chargers.
Yeah.
He's been doing some live videos and taking questions, and somebody asked him about the toughest quarterback he ever faced in terms of just overall, I hate going against this guy. And he leaned in the camera. He's like, I don't think you understand as a viewer what Peyton Manning used to do to our defenses. He is like, he would use the whole play clock and confuse everybody. He knew what we were running before we came out of the huddle.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes the rings we do it in the NBA, we do it with every sport. The rings get mixed in, and I think you forget the greatness that is somebody like Peyton Manning, and really somebody that knew defenses better than most defenses knew their own defense.
Right.
Oh yeah, and just to add to that, Doc, ask Ray. Ray'll tell you the same thing. The only quarterback he hated going up against, everybody else he can get to him, demolish him. He say Peyton Manning, and vice versa. Peyton would say the same thing. Yeah. But Ray would say, I hated going against Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning would say, I hated going against Ray Lewis, because he knew that Ray would be the only linebacker that would understand Omaha. Yeah. Nobody else would. And Peyton Manning had to do something differently when he played the Ravens. But you're absolutely correct. Peyton ain't no joke. When he got to that line, he knew exactly what position, what defense you were playing. And y'all want to play 4-3. Okay, I got this. It's gonna be easy. Let me eat this up. So
yeah.
All right, hold up. I had to put everybody in the backstage area. This is supposed to have been one show with Dr. Pitts. We didn't even get to the book. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna end this part one. We're gonna call this Sports Talk with Dr. Pitts. All right. We're gonna come back and have part two with Dr. Pitts on February 16th, and that would be episode 40. All right. But before we go, I'm gonna bring everybody back for a special shout out. And the biggest shout out I do have to give out is to my dad. Today is his birthday, so I just wanted to wish you happy birthday, Pops. Ooh. We will get some more. I promise we will talk more about your Raiders coming up, but just want to wish you happy birthday, sir, and many more.